Hey guys, I thought I would do something different today, which is a screen video to talk about floor plans, specifically floor plan design. So, this actually was motivated or inspired by a meeting I had today with a new customer. We were at a window and door showroom talking about the sliding doors in the back and kind of talking about his design, the layout, and it just made me think, I've had 3 or 4 floor plans come through that we've built recently that have had very similar designs, in aspects of the kind of the great room concept that's getting popular, as well as how some of the outdoor living works. That made me think, I'm gonna do a little video for people to kind of show some of the things that I'm seeing as a custom builder. Sometimes we're working with people to get their plans designed. Other times they're just coming to us with the plans designed by different architects. But there's definitely some trends. And with those trends, I'll touch on two of them, which first is the inside. And it would be what I would consider we've been doing open concept for years, right? It's not a new thing, but the true great room, open concept idea, getting rid of some of the formal rooms that we used to do. So, this floor plan that you're looking at here is a pretty good size house we finished a few months back. This house, I think, was almost 8,000 square foot conditioned living. So much bigger under roof. But this is a part of it. I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but I've got it in a program where I can make some lines and all that. So I know some of these plans, and this is the fun part about looking at floor plans. If you're not used to it, some of them can look busier than others. This one is a little bit busy to look at if you're not used to looking at floor plans. But here's the entry right here. Funny enough, we didn't do double doors. We did one big pivot door. Did a video about that, but it leads into, and if you can see my cursor, this is the area, what I am calling the great room concept, and I'll just kind of do a big square around it. So as we can see, we've got our family or living room right here. We've got our dining room right here. We've got our big kitchen right here. It's one gigantic room, and there are no formals now. This doesn't have a formal living or a formal dining. Now, this is a big house, so it's got several other rooms, game rooms, uh, media rooms, things like that. But just with the average house, this is becoming a much more popular concept. So, what it does is it gets rid of these formal spaces. It contains everything into one big room. I don't remember the exact dimensions from this wall to this wall. I know the Fort Worth build, which I'll show you in a second, I've been documenting, has almost the exact same layout. And I think it's almost 70 feet from wall to wall. So, really kind of huge spaces that encompass all this. And so, in the case of this one, for example, they have a dining table that's kind of sitting in here. There is no formal dining. Um, and what that does is that, of course, makes this house was good size already, but even an average house, let's say you're building a 3,000 square foot living house, something like that, and you do this big open concept room, it makes everything feel bigger. Plus, you can do some high ceilings and things like that. And it really, I think modern day homes feel so much bigger than older homes just because they aren't so compartmentalized. I even built one of the first homes I built for myself, had the kitchen that was up at the front left of the house by itself. Um, there's some pros to that. Hey, the kitchen isn't right there by the living, and maybe noise being made in the kitchen isn't bothering you when you're watching TV. But I think overall, everybody enjoys this great room concept a lot better. You think about you're having a party, and they're just able to be in this area. Everybody can see each other, be in the kitchen, hang out. Um, Meanwhile, also sit in here, sit at the dining table. It's just a really convenient way to do things. And so that is kind of the number one evolution I've seen with floor plans over the years is they went from pretty open concept to really open concept, really this great room concept. And the biggest one was just getting rid of the formal and just creating this one dining concept. Now, As you see here, we also, and another thing that has just been a huge trend for the last decade, has been outdoor living. And it's a little hard to see in this house, but this is a big sliding door here and a big sliding door here. Even more so, these are pocket doors. These go back and disappear into the wall. These are really cool. If you can do them, I recommend them, because when this is open, this is one entire open space. You don't see any sliding doors. So with that said, I'm going to flip to these other plans I have open. So this is the same plan we're looking at. This is the Fort Worth build. If you can see my cursor, I can't use the red line on this version, but hey, look, it is almost the same thing. So you can see this says, I think it says 50 something feet, and that's from here to here. So, this is just a huge space, not quite 70, but it's a big space, same exact concept, family room here, dining room here, kitchen here. And then here's the plan of the folks we were looking at today. Again, as you can see, all architects look different with the way they're drawn. This is a more compact. This house isn't as big, but it's still the same concept. Living room here, dining here, kitchen here. This one also has two sliding doors in the back. These are not pocket doors, but they are two sliding doors going back to their outdoor living. Fort Worth build had one big door. Now, interestingly, this showed to be a big pocket, but look how wide we had to make the wall to make all this work. This made the window in the kitchen almost look like a ship porthole or something like that. So we did away with this because, as you can see, there were so many stacking panels that the pocket had to be really wide. So we ended up going with a different type of door that just, doesn't slide back into a pocket, allowed us to shrink this wall. This became a 2x8 wall through here, and everything felt a lot more normal with the size. And so this is the kind of thing that sometimes we do in the field. This was drawn with this layout, and we just figured it out and did it in the field. So when you hear about custom builders, this is some of the stuff we do while we're building a home. It's not ideal. You'd like to build exactly what's on the plan, but we all agreed at some point that maybe let's not do this big pocket door. So I'll go back to the one I can draw on. And so this is the one that two sets of sliding doors here that lead back to, you can't see all of this, but this house has all kinds of covered patio. It goes back into here, and you can't see that right here. But, the outdoor living thing is huge. So on top of all of this through here, you can also open these up, and everybody can just be, you could have a party and it's indoor out. We are in Texas, and granted, that may be 4 months of the year you can actually open those doors and have an indoor-outdoor living, but you can do it. And if you're in a temperate part of the country where in the summer it's 75 degrees, hey, this is awesome, right? You could do this all summer long. And so I'm really a fan of the sliding doors and just having this indoor-outdoor living setup. We are seeing a lot here, even though you maybe can't do it certain times of the year. I mean, it does get really hot here in the summer, and you're not probably going to leave these doors open when it's 100 degrees outside. But just the idea that you can do it certain times of the year is awesome. So then that leads me to one last thing I'm going to talk about for now with floor plans. I think I'll do more videos about floor plan design because I think this interests people. Number one trend that I see is this right here, the big main open living area with family dining and kitchen. The other thing that with the outdoor living that I always recommend doing is this right here. This is a pool bath. So as you can see, there is a door from inside to out. And there's also a door here, to get to it from inside the house. So this exterior door was what we'd call a full light, L-I-T-E. That's the terminology in building. That just means it's a full glass panel door. But because it's a pool bathroom. This had a obscure type of glass on it, so you couldn't see in it. Still let in the light, but you couldn't see into the bathroom when somebody's in there. This course just had a normal interior door that was solid panel. So pool bathrooms are, in my opinion, something that if you can do it with your floor plan design, definitely do it. I've had some where maybe the bathroom is this area over here. That's great. It's close. Maybe there's a door that still opens here, but people do have to run down the hall, drip water, getting into the bathroom and all that. So if you can have access right off of the patio, because by the way, this is all pool back here. This has a huge pool. That allows you to get right into the bathroom. This is a half bath. It's pretty big, but I've had some people do them as full bath. Hey, you have a shower in here too. So, people want to run in and clean off, jump into the shower. Or maybe you're out here in the hot tub and it's freezing outside and you want to run in and warm up in your shower. Go from warm water to cold air back to warm water, but at least you can dry off in the house and be warm. So a pool bath is highly recommended, in my opinion, if you're doing a nice outdoor living setup and you're going to have a swimming pool out there. Even if you're not going to have a swimming pool, I've known some people that said, we aren't going to do a pool, but we want that pool bath concept because we do want to entertain out here and we want people to have quick access to a bathroom. So I think from that standpoint, it's a great idea. So I would say number one trend is in here with the grand open concept great rooms. And you'll notice this house, while it's large and it has all kind of rooms, it doesn't have a formal dining. It doesn't have a formal living. And so if this were a kind of average size house, just putting all this in here makes everything feel bigger. It makes it live larger. And then, this outdoor living here with a or maybe two sliding doors, big covered patios, and access to a bathroom, I think is the other trend that has really evolved over the years and makes a lot of sense. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe gave you some ideas if you're designing a plan of what you may want to do with your house. I know all different parts of the country do things differently. This is super popular in Texas, the very open concept kitchen, great room, and then all the outdoor living. I remember when I started to see the first sliding doors, I thought sliding doors, those were the old cheap things back in the day. And now we do sliding doors. That I was looking at one today that's a big folding sliding door that was $35,000. So you can run the gamut in those things, but they are super popular. You're seeing them in a lot of the homes down here. So yeah, once again, I hope this video helped. Appreciate you watching.